Well, hi everybody, and welcome to our Church360 Unite Church Website Builder Complete Overview webinar. My name's Anna Johnson, and I'll be walking you through our software today. I've already had a couple people let me know that they can hear me and see my PowerPoint screen from you where you're at, so thank you for letting me know that. If any of the rest of you have any problems at any time throughout the webinar, please just let me know about that, and we'll try and get it resumed as quickly as possible. According to my clock, it's about 10 o'clock right now, so I want to get started on time and be respectful of all of you who are here. I know you're busy, and I appreciate the time you've taken out of your day to come to this webinar. Just a little bit about me. Again, my name's Anna Johnson. I'm the Assistant Marketing Manager here at Concordia Technology Solutions. You can see my email and my phone number are up there on the screen. I'll have them up again at the end of the webinar if you have any questions or comments or concerns to let me know of after we've completed today. Just a little housekeeping to go through before we really dig into the software. I'm hoping that our presentation today will take 60 minutes total of me talking, and then the last 30 minutes will be reserved for your questions. So depending on how many questions there are and how quickly I go through my material, that outline can change a little bit, but I'm hoping that will give us enough time to run through everything today without breaking into your schedules too much. Feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. If I'm going throughout a specific feature and I go too fast or you have a more in-depth question about it, you can always ask me in the chat, and then we'll come back to it at the end. Just know that if you ask a question, I might not be able to answer it right away, but it will get answered while we're here today. As you saw in your emails about this webinar announcement, our recording will be shared. So if you have other people at your church office who might want to see the webinar but couldn't make it today, I'll be sending out a link to a YouTube video in an email later this afternoon, hopefully, and you can share that link with anybody so they can see this material and participate in the experience with us. I just want to give a little bit about us first at Concordia Technology Solutions. We are a part of Concordia Publishing House, and I always really like this picture. Here's a picture of us at our 1904 World's Fair. As you can imagine, that the world was a lot different then. We didn't have computer software publishing. We had books. You can see these little guys waiting in their booth, but we've been around a long time, and since 1984, we've been developing software for churches. Some of you might be familiar with our church management software, Shepherd Staff, and then in about 2010, we came out with this Church360 suite, which Unite is a part of, which is web-based. So that's what we'll be talking about today. This picture is a picture of our Innovation Center here at CPH. It's a really cool place to hang out and share ideas with my fellow staff members. As I said, we're a church administration division of Concordia Publishing House, which is the publishing arm of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And Church360 Unite, which is our church website builder, which we'll be talking about today, is really part of a suite of products which we call Church360. And the 360 is supposed to remind you of the 360 degrees in the circle, the complete coverage of something. So we have Church360 Unite, which is supposed to take care of your church's website. We have Church360 Members, which is the church management software portion where you can learn about storing your members' information, you can record offerings. And then we also have Church360 Ledger, which is the third component of our suite, which is where you can do your bookkeeping and record all those financial records. Different churches have different plans with us. The goal today is not to sell you on any of these one products, but to just give you an overview of what we offer, specifically about Church360 Unite. So just a little bit more about Church360 Unite itself. As I've said already, it's a website builder, but it's so much more than that. It also has a blogging component in it. It's meant to be a member hub where you can record your members' contact information or sync that with a couple of our other programs so that members can talk and connect with each other. It's also a place where you can share files. So if you have bulletins or announcements or pictures even, Church360 Unite is a good place to hold all that information. You can also have your master church calendar on there, so your worship services, your events can all be built into this one same software. And the final component is our mass emailing feature. And we really hope that together with all 6 of these components, you're really able to unite your online presence through your website to serve your members and the visitors who are coming to your church website so they know about all the great work you're doing in the name of Jesus for the gospel. A little bit more about the specifics of Unite. Of course, since it's a website builder, it's online. You can access it anywhere. It includes secure hosting and backups, free updates, supports, and training. So that would all be included in the fee for Unite if you decide to purchase with us later on. I'm also going to make a few assumptions about all of you who are participating today. I'm sorry if some of these are wrong, and if they are, just let me know and we can help tailor future webinars to serve our audience's needs even better. So I'm going to assume that you're familiar with church websites in general. Maybe you know about your own church website, maybe your church doesn't have a website, but you've seen some really great church websites and you know what you want to do. Maybe you've seen some really bad church websites and you just want to learn some more about how our software can help your website look more clean and polished. I'm also going to assume that you're new to Church360 Unite. We know some people come to these webinars because they're thinking about moving to Unite for their church website software. I also know that sometimes we have people in here who've just purchased and just want that really broad overview of what the software offers. I'm also going to assume that you're extremely busy, and just like me, you only have so many hours in the day and so many things to do. So we want to be respectful of your time, as I said earlier. With that, we're almost ready to start moving into the nitty-gritty here with our webinar outline. And these are the 6 things we're going to go through today. I'm going to show you how to set up a church website. So we'll go from kind of start to finish with Unite using our demo of Unite site. I'm also going to show you how to launch a communication campaign. So that's going to include blog posts, landing pages, email lists. We're going to hopefully go through all areas of the software so you know when you leave all the things Unite can do. We're going to go through your questions and hopefully I can answer them. If I can't in the webinar, I promise that I'll find somebody here who can answer your question for you. And lastly, I want you to be able to answer this question at the end of the webinar. How can I use Church360 Unite to support my ministry? The only reason we're here at CTS is to support churches, to help them with some of those administration tasks or those communication tasks that sometimes might be a little mundane, but we know are so important to your ministry. So that's our goal, to help you. And so let's get started. I am going to head over into the actual software itself. It might take me a couple minutes here, and our story today is going to be launching a church picnic communications campaign. So I know in the summertime there's lots of events going on at your church. Maybe you have VBS, maybe you have a youth summer camp. We're just going to use the church picnic communications campaign story to kind of get us started here today with Unite. And it'll just take me, as I said, a couple minutes to get my screen ready. We're going to invite users, create a planning group, set up a picnic event, create a landing page, show you some tips for engaging site visitors, creating a blog post, and also show you how to email your members. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen over here. And we're actually going to start in the settings of Church360 Unite. Now the settings view is a view, and I know you cannot see that right now. The settings view is something that is just for admins of Church360 Unite. If I log out here, you can see this main view is what your screen would look like to visitors. But Unite has different permission levels so that you, as the user, can really dig into those things, do the behind-the-scenes work without having other people see what's going on. So the first thing you'll do when you get into Unite, you can log into your account. This would be either the account you've purchased or a trial account with us, is you'll go into settings to let people know what's going on at your church. There's a few important things here in settings. Settings lets you know about your usage. So our different plans, you can have different types of storage space that'll let you know how much you're using. You can put in your church name, your church email, so this might be your main office email address, your phone number, your address, and your time zone. And this is the information that's going to show in the footer of your website for visitors who come. Let me see if I can bring that up here. So right down here, all this information that I'm highlighting is coming from the settings that you input in this main settings screen. Another important part of settings is the calendars. And you can create calendars, or if you have a Church360 members account, you can sync calendars with your account. And we'll get more into the nitty-gritty details about calendars later in this webinar. I just wanted to show you where that feature is located. You'll also notice down here there's an option to include events from your Google Calendar. We know that a lot of churches come to us already having a Google Calendar and want to be able to display that on their website. So that's an option too here in settings. You also have settings options to set your domain. If you want to set your domain up with us, we can help you with that here in settings. But if maybe you already have a domain or you've purchased a domain with another company, you can do that here in our settings. Our support techs help out with that process. Another cool feature we have with Church360 Unite is Google Analytics. And Google Analytics is that process where you can see who's coming to your website, how many people, what pages they're going on. We have an option where you can integrate with that to get your information. And if you are a Shepherd Staff customer, the Settings Integration tab is the place where you would look to get your Shepherd Staff integrated for your member information. The next thing you'll do if you're in Church360 Unite, after you've gotten all your settings just the way you want them, is you'll probably want to select a website theme. And this is a really important part of our software. I'm just going to go over to themes right here. If you click on the Themes tab at the top, again, this is a feature that's available for administrators on your site. You'll see you have all sorts of options here. You have earth tones, heritage, light, minimal, modern, etc. There's also custom themes, so this was a custom theme we tried to show another church while we were demoing it to them. And some good news, we're also getting 2 new themes sometime in the future very soon, so hopefully you'll have even more options to select from. Once you have your theme selected, you would head down to this Customize tab, and this is where you really get even more options for customizing your site. Presets are just different backgrounds that you can put onto your site. So I could pick dark particles, and hopefully you'll see soon here the background color changed. The theme we're going to pick is autumn today. It's so light and bright, and it reminds me of summer, even though it's called autumn. But we like to use this one. I think it's just very cheerful. And even within themes, you can select different colors. You can select a header and a banner, and you could even upload your church logo, and I'll show you how to do that right now. So you would pick on this banner item, you would click Browse, and then you can upload a theme. Now I already have our logo uploaded here, but I'll just show you how that process would work. Here's our webinar resources. You would select your file, click on Open, and then you see it gets added here. So these are all the assets on your page. Once you pick your logo, you would just click on that, click Save Changes, and you'll notice right up here the light of Christ changed from a text field into your logo. And this is a banner that should carry across all your different screens in Church360 Unite. Other things you can do in themes are select the heading, accent, body color, body font. I'm going to just mention the Advanced and Edit tabs. These tabs are only for people who know a lot about scripts and headers, about HTML and CSS, and I will be the first to admit that I am not one of those people. But if your website administrator is someone who knows a lot about building websites from scratch. Just know that they can edit any of these things from the edit screen. You can see the HTML is in here. You can add advanced scripts, all that. So Unite was meant and designed to be used by people who might not know a lot about building websites from scratch and people who do know a lot. We wanted to make it accessible to all people at your congregation while still giving you that customizable theme that you're looking for. I'm going to close out of themes right now and take you back to our home page. I just want to point out a few things on the home page, and we'll circle back around to them later. The main thing here is that you can customize the layout and design of your home page, or any page really, from this edit page screen. If you didn't see what I did there, there's this little edit page tab on the left hand side of your screen. You can just click on that and that opens what we call edit mode, which is where you as a website administrator would be able to edit any page on your site. So you can see there's different layouts to choose from. You could have one layout for your home page, one layout maybe for your youth group page, a different layout for your announcements page. It's really up to you by page. There's different statuses here, so if you were just working on a draft of a page, you could set it to draft so that not everybody is seeing your work in progress. I like to use that feature a lot. You can add a custom URL or change the page title. So if we wanted to change this to Light of Christ home page, we could do that, change our page title, and you can also change the meta description. The meta description is something that's important for search engines to be able to look through and read your site, especially if you have a lot of text. So we might say this is the home page for Light of Christ in Bakersfield, Missouri, which is our fictional church in our fictional city that we use for these webinars. Once you've changed those main page layouts, you can just hit save, and you'll see that the page refreshes and you'll get a little saved notification up top here to let you know that your work has saved. The next thing I want to show you guys how to do, I'm going to close out of edit page here, and you'll see my admin bar pops right up back at the top of the screen. I want to show you how to set users on your site. Users are the people that can log into your site, that can maybe edit your site, who can administer your site. We have different roles in Church360 Unite, and I'll just select Dave Abbott. He's one of our people, fictional people here, and we have different roles at Unite for different people. So you might have a role of none, which means the person can't log into Unite, can't access the member directory, can't edit pages. This would be the role for most of your church people who aren't working in the website. You have a user role, which is for people who can log in and access this church directory, but you might not want to be able to publish anything on your site. You have a publisher who may edit the content in the pages of your site, and you have a church administrator who administers all things, can manage theme, takes care of your settings. We usually recommend that there's only one or two administrators per church, and most people are publishers because we want you guys to have a consistent experience throughout your website. But we know that you're going to need to add people who aren't in this list to start off with. I'll be the first to admit most of these people are in our list because they came over from our Church360 members demo database. But we want to add some new people today, and I'll show you how to do that. You'll go into Users, be in the Users tab over here, and then select this Add People green button right at the bottom. And you have two options here. You can add people on a one-by-one basis based just on their first name, last name, and email, or you can import them from a CSV file, and we even give you the option to download a CSV template here, and I'll open that up really quick on my screen. So this is what the template looks like. It just is an Excel document that gives the first name, last name, and email. You could put as many people down here as you like. And for those of you who might be wondering and don't know a lot about the differences between CSV and Excel, CSV is just a different way you can save your Excel file. It's called comma separated values, and it's the way our program can read your Excel file and import people. Today I'm going to show you how to import from CSV, and I already have a file ready, so I would click on this import from CSV button. You can see all my resources are here right now. And since we're talking about our church picnic planning committee today, I wanted to show you how to import them as users into our database. So I'll select that CSV file, click open, and you can see everybody's name got added in here just like I wanted. Steve, Earl, Sharon, and Christy. Once that's set the way I want it, I can just click add. And it might take a minute here, but there's a message here at the top that lets me know I've successfully added 4 people. Now, since these people are on my picnic planning committee, I want them to all be publishers on my site. So I'm going to look up each of them. Steve, right here, you can see he populated in my list. I'm going to change his role to a publisher. So I just click change role publisher, update, and I'm going to repeat that process for Earl. Make Earl a publisher. I'm going to make Sharon, and as you can see me doing this, it'll tell you whose roles I changed up here, or how many roles I changed. Sharon, and the last member of my planning committee was Christy Rice. I'm going to change her role, publisher, and update. And that's how users and roles work here. Just a few other things to show you. From this main screen, at any time if you want to, you can edit somebody's first and last name. Their email you can't really edit because that's tied to the account in their Unite site. You can change the role, which I just showed you. You can also see their last sign-in, so if you have a lot of people coming in and out of your site, you can see your most frequent users, or if you can see that one person isn't coming in very often, you can also change that. The last column on here is your listed and unlisted account. And this is really important. We know that some people don't want their personal information being listed on a Unite site, even if it's protected behind a login, or maybe they just don't want their information listed anywhere, whether it's in print or on the website. We want to be respectful of that. So for those people who don't want their information listed in the church directory, you would just select them from this list here, click on Unlist, and it should update automatically. You can see that up here it changed them to unlisted, and you can change people back from listed to unlisted as often as you want. You could just click List. And what all this is building up to, all these users, all these people, is really the member directory function that is built into Church360 Unite. So I'm going to go to my main site navigation here, Ministries and Members. So this members page is the built-in member directory that is a part of Church360 Unite. This is one page that all our users will have. Whether or not you choose to activate it and use it or not is up to you, but we want you to know that this is what's included. So you can search people in the directory. So Steve Keller was one of the people we added. You can see their household is listed here, and then the individual person. Now for Steve, since we just added him, we have no listed phone numbers, no listed email addresses, and he doesn't have a picture. But we want to change that today because we want to be a friendly church. We want people to be able to know what each other looks like and ways to contact them. So to change Steve's profile picture, you would just click on his name and click on this little avatar icon. And you have 3 options. You can use the default portrait, which is just this little gray guy here. You can use a gravatar, which a gravatar is just a universally recognized avatar. Hopefully I didn't break that too badly. Just going to refresh my page here. And you can upload a custom portrait. I'm guessing most of you are just going to upload another portrait, and so that's what I'm going to show you today. So if you had files of all your members' profiles, you can do that, or members can upload their own picture as long as they're marked as a user in Unite. So here's Steve's picture. I'll click Open, and then with this selected, I'll click Update Profile, And when my site refreshes, you can see that Steve now has a picture. You'll also see down here that since Steve is new, he has no known address. So we'll edit that quickly today. I'm going to just copy in. Here's a little fictional address we had here. And the city, state, and zip go down in this bottom line below. So Bakersfield, Missouri, Bakersville, Missouri, sorry, 63027, and we'll pretend that Steve's phone number is 123-456-0789. And we'll say maybe he doesn't want his phone number listed, so I'll just, oh, that deleted it. My apologies. We'll say he wants his phone number and his address listed, so we'll just check that checkbox right there. Once you're all done updating people's contact information, you can see you can add as many phone numbers and emails as you'd like. You'll just click Update Household. Unite's going to reload. It'll let you know your changes have been saved. And also you can see here that Steve's address and phone number now appear in the church directory for all your members to see. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to pause for a little bit in case anybody has any questions. Feel free to send them in right now. The next thing we're going to go to is our group setting. And groups are something I really like about Unite. It's a way for your members to connect with each other without letting the whole world see. So you guys might be familiar on a little smaller level with Facebook groups or with Yahoo groups. This is kind of our equivalent of that, except it's contained in your church website so that people are having a one-stop shop at your church for when they come to your website. So I'm going to create a new page here. I went to the Pages menu on the menu bar, and now I'm going to click on this Add Page button. And you'll see that there's all different types of page options. There's a blank page, there's a calendar page, there's a feeds page, which people use for vlogs. We'll get to all that later, but right now what we're going to do is we're going to create a groups page, and we're going to pretend for our purposes today this is the Church Picnic Planning Committee. Hopefully I spelled that right. I clicked enter, and you'll see up here there's two different options. You have active menu items and available menu items. Available menu items are pages that you might potentially want to put on your site, but you don't want listed in the site navigation right now. Active menu items are items that will appear in your site navigation. And for our church, we do want our Church Picnic Planning Committee to appear in the navigation so people can find us. So I'll just drag and drop them over here into the ministries group. And I want them to be a subdirectory of that, so I just have to indent it, drag my icon over, and then you'll see it's a subdirectory of the Ministries tab. You'll see right now that the permissions for our planning committee are set to members only. You could also publish this page, make a draft, make it a public page. Oh, you can't do bulk actions from there. Any of these options, depending on what your church needs and wants. I'm going to save my changes very quickly. You'll see again, you'll get a message to let you know your changes have been saved. And now, when I go to my site navigation under Ministries, Church Picnic Planning Committee is one of the options. And again, since we marked this page's visibility as being for members only, a regular visitor to your church website wouldn't see this page. They would only see the other options here that are set to public. Now you'll notice that our page looks a little drab here. It looks a little plain. So we want to spice that up a little, and I'll show you through all the group settings right now. So we have our Picnic Planning Committee. We want our group settings over here to be private, which we marked in the other page. You can add sub-pages to your Church Picnic Planning Committee group. So I'll go into Members, Pages, Membership Settings. And this is really about the people who can belong to our group. So you can choose to send an email when somebody comments, makes an announcement, or don't send any email notifications for this group. I'm going to go back to our edit page here. First thing I want to do is add in a nice header for our group subpage. So we'll select image, I'm going to upload an image here. And here's our church picnic planning committee banner that I have stored on my computer. I'll click open. It uploads right here, and now you have an available asset for your page. And I'll click OK. And you can see that the image is added right now into your membership page. This is kind of fun that I like to do for all pages, just to have a nice little banner to make people feel welcome, to make it look a little bit more professional in your design. You can also add copy to your page. So welcome to the Church Picnic Planning Committee page. Here's where we'll share ideas, schedules, and planning project for the church picnic. So again, you can upload this to be anything you want. You can change the layout over here. So if I just wanted the banner up top, I could add text over here and maybe another picture over here. If you need to change the resolution of your picture, the size, you can go into image properties. Say I want my width to be 690 pixels. It automatically adjusts. I'll click OK, and you can see my picture moved over here a little bit. So all of these options are available from within the groups page or within any subpage in Unite. I'm going to click Save again. My progress was saved, and so now we have our welcome page, homepage for the Church Picnic Planning Committee. But there's many more things you can do in here. One thing you can do is you can add a discussions thread, and for me, I think the most important application of this would be for members of your committee to talk and share ideas. So for the church picnic, maybe people would like to know if we could have a dunk tank. I know that's kind of a funny thing, but maybe you want to ask your fellow committee members what's going to happen. Do we want a dunk tank? Another example might be, do we want to have snacks? You could post a discussion in here, and everybody in your group could respond in a private way without having the whole world see your committee planning discussions. You can see it appears right here. This says Peter because I'm logged in as Peter, but if you were logged in as yourself, it would show your name right here. It'll give you the date and the time of the original discussion thread. If you decided you wrote something you didn't like, you can always go back up here and edit your comments and then click Update. And hopefully my page will refresh here. If not, that's okay. I'll refresh it myself. You can post different types of things here. So mine was an example of a discussion thread. You can also post prayer requests. Again, this is private, depending on how you have your page set. You can also post announcements and other important items that might not require a reply, but that everybody in your group should know about. The next important feature on the groups page is events. And these are events that are set for your group only. So we would need to start meeting for our planning committee. So I'm going to create a church picnic planning committee event. So you can see that because we're creating off of the group page, the calendar visibility is only visible to users and people in the church picnic planning committee. So we'll say planning meeting. The location might be our church meeting room. And we're going to say that our church planning committee meets every Thursday at 5 o'clock. And it repeats every week on Thursday, starting on June 23rd and ending on July 28th, because our picnic is going to be on July 31st. You can also add a description. So committee members should come to the planning, can't type, every week. You can choose whether or not you want to invite people to your event, and you can select their names here. We don't have anybody added to our group right now, that's why that didn't populate. And you can choose to send email reminders, any of these options. So a few hours before the event, a few days before the event, or even a few weeks before the event. Once you have your event set, you can click Create Event. And you'll see that our planning meeting was added to our calendar right here. The next thing we're going to do is invite members to our group. And we want to add all those people we chose earlier to import. So we have Steve Keller, we'll add him as a member. So all I'm doing is I'm selecting their name from the drop-down list, clicking on it, and then clicking Add Member, and you see they populate up here. Sharon Olson is another member, and our last member was Christy Rice. So you just type in their name, click Add Member, and they're uploaded up here. Within groups, you have an option to select a group leader, and for our purposes today, that group leader is going to be Steve. So to select him as the group leader, you could just click on his name and then click this Change Role button over to the right-hand side here. So you can promote Steve to the leader, and you can see now we have 2 group leaders, but we might only want 1. So Peter, who was the previous group leader, we can demote him just to a group member. And the group leader function is just meant to help you be more organized, so you can have one person in charge of everything, so there's no arguments, no discussion. And so that group leader can edit and control different aspects of your site. Remember from before when I went into membership settings, we had these options over here for who can join the group. That all carries over here, where you can have requests to join the group. And we don't have any requests right now, but you could set your group settings to be able to request people to join the group. So maybe you had a Bible study and you wanted to share resources with people in your Bible study group, and then a new person wanted to join. They could request to join the Bible study group, still keeping the group information fairly private and not posting it everywhere, yet still including everybody that wants to be included. Our edit group page has a couple options. You see we already have our church picnic planning committee. We can have a description here. Here's where we plan the church picnic. You can add sub-pages within your groups page. I know that's a little confusing to have. The best way to explain it is to say that it's a site within a site. So your groups pages, your groups module really, is a little site, a little place for all the group members to join and collaborate. So for our church picnic, you might want to have one page for games, so all the people working on games could collaborate together. You might have one page for food, so you could discuss the best food options to have for your church picnic. And you could also add one page for volunteers. Maybe you would want to add a discussion forum to figure out who's volunteering for what. And each of these sub-pages within your groups page has a different privacy and permission level. So you can change it to draft, save, delete, or cancel. And you can link to a draft page. You can't link to a draft page when your page is ready to be published. You can publish it there. We'll get back to that in a minute. You can also choose who your group details are visible to. So if we wanted our home page to be available to only group members, we could say this is for group members. Maybe our discussion, only group members would want to be on there. Only group leaders could see who other members of the group are, and events would be available to everyone, since your whole church would need to know who's having meetings when and where. And the who can join this group setting is what I was talking about earlier, where you have those requests where you can choose whether anyone who's logged in can join your group or only people you have invited. So I'm going to update our group so that only people who are invited can join the group. And we can change the status up here. I went through membership settings already, so that's where we're at. Let me just catch up in a minute, regroup with my outline. The next thing we're going to do is view our church events calendar, because we want our church picnic planning committee to be available to everybody at our church. We want everybody to know when a meeting's going on. And you can see that since I had that calendar visibility as available to anybody, the planning committee shows up on your calendar site along with any other events you've added. So this is from another calendar, our Young Adult Bible Fellowship Education calendar. Our worship calendar has worship resources, and you can pick and choose which calendars appear on your site. So maybe we don't want our children's ministry calendar to appear because there's not many events this month. Or maybe we don't want our altar guild to appear on the master church calendar. And you'll see the Altar Guild was on 2 calendars. You can tag an event to more than 1 calendar, so if we wanted traditional worship, I'll just click on that to be tagged to both the worship calendar and the events calendar. We could do that. Maybe Reformation 2017, we want to add that calendar there. You can also add a new calendar to your site, and if you remember from earlier today, you can go into Settings, Calendars, and create a calendar. So I want to create a church events calendar, and this could maybe be for our church to plan everything that's going on. You'll see it added down here. I want to change the visibility of this calendar to everyone, so I just click on the calendar name, and then under everyone, select who can view everyone and click Save. Next thing I want to do is select a color for my calendar, and our calendars are set. So next time I go back to that calendars page and I want to add our planning meeting to multiple calendars, I can just click on Edit this event and also add this to the church events calendar, since that was going to be our main scheduling calendar. I'll update the event, and now my changes have been saved, and now you can see it's on 2 calendars. The other thing I want to do, I've added my planning committee meetings, but I haven't added the actual church picnic to my calendar event. So what I'm going to do is I'll click over here, I'll create a new event, let my page load, and this is going to be the actual church picnic event. So we're moving away from the planning committee and going just to the church picnic. I want to add this to my new church events calendar, so you can see I can populate the calendar here, and since the church events calendar is visible to everyone, so this event will be visible to everyone. And I'm going to say outside church, because our picnic will hopefully be held outside on a nice day. I'll select the date, July 31st, and the time, 12 o'clock p.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. If it wasn't a repeating event, I could select that I wanted the event to repeat, just like I did with our planning committee meetings. And if I wanted it to be an all-day event, I could just check that box. Again, you can set reminders and invitations as you like. When it's ready, just click Create Event. Event Church Picnic created. You'll see the time is here. Another cool feature that I like is that you can select your RSVP here. So if I want to say I'm going to the church picnic, you can select that here, and then you can also change your reminder. So if I wanted to be reminded 2 hours before the church picnic, I can set that and click Update, and you'll get an email reminder that the church picnic is coming up this day. And I'll just show you one more time that it's going to appear in July, right down here, church picnic, 12 o'clock p.m. It's color-coded purple because that's the color of our church events calendar. The next thing we want to do is create a landing page for our church picnic. The other page we created, remember, was just for our planning committee, but this page we want to just be for everyone to know the details about church picnic. So again, I'll go into Pages, I'll click on this little page button that says Add Page, and this time I just want it to be a blank page because I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to click Create Page, and this will be Church Picnic Information Page. Change this, and I'll move it over. I'm going to make this public once I get it over here. And I'm going to put this under News, since the church picnic is kind of an important news item. Drag and drop. I'll make it public. Click Save Changes. Now, when I go to News, our church picnic information calendar is right here. So I'll click on that. And again, we want to pretty this up a little. It's pretty bland. So I'll click my Edit Page sidebar. I'm going to choose this layout so we can have a nice header up top and then some information below. I already have another banner made again, so I'm going to click on that picture image, click on Upload, and then instead of choosing the Church Picnic Planning Committee banner, I have this landing page banner made. Unite's going to work to upload it. And it'll appear here when it's uploaded. Just want to show you one quick thing with this again. This top portion has assets uploaded on this page. So an asset is a picture or a file, something like that. Assets uploaded on other pages includes all your pictures anywhere throughout your website. So if you want to use that same logo picture everywhere throughout your website, you don't have to upload it 5 times. You would just select it under assets uploaded on other pages. But for our picture, I'm going to select this one. I'll click OK. And oh my gosh, look at this happen. Sometimes it happens. That's okay. I can just go into image properties, advanced, and you can see my pixels are very off. So I want to do 690 pixels and change the height a little. That's a little bit better. You can change this any way you'd like it to. Under here, I want to update my announcement. I already have one written up. So I'll just take it. I'm actually copying so you guys can see. I'm copy and pasting from Word over here. So I'll just select this, Control C, select my text box, Control V, and it will have your complete announcement copied over from Word. So say you had your bulletin printed up and you already had the announcement written. You don't have to type that again. You can just use your normal copy and paste functions. I want to highlight that it's July 31st from 12 to 3 p.m. We want you to invite your friends and neighbors. The other thing I want to do over here is invite my group members to be a little widget on the side. I think this is really cool. So in the edit bar up here, you'll see there's all these options. There's an anchor, there's links, there's photos, audio, videos. You can even embed media, edit the source code. And those things are right here. I'll just show you the source code quick in case you know about that. Then you can change your font and styling here. But the last option right here is your groups pages. And I want to add my church picnic planning committee widget here. You can select the size and then hit OK. And what this is doing is it's linking to your church picnic planning committee group page from your landing page so that planning committee members can easily go back and forth between the two pages. I'm going to set this page setting to published and then click Save. And now that it's saved, you'll see this is what it'll look like to members. It seems to not save as well as it should have. Click Save. And our page is saved just like it should be. Now that we have a landing page created, I want to update our home page and link to our landing page. So I'm going to close out Edit Page here, go to Light of Christ home page. And you can see that the main banner on our site right now is VBS, and we want to change that to be our church picnic. So to change that banner, I'm going to click on Edit Page. I'm going to click in this picture right here. I'm going to delete our VBS one, and then click on the picture image option again. And I'm going to upload a bigger homepage banner. And this banner is going to have the time and the date of our church picnic. You'll see it's working again up here. Hopefully our pixels should be set to be a bit better this time. And you can see we have this nice, beautiful banner on our homepage so that anytime anybody comes to our church website, the first thing they see is we're having a church picnic. Now to make this even better, maybe you could add something like friends and neighbors, visitors are welcome. Whatever message you wanted, you could upload onto your picture there. You can create it yourself or again create it in Unite. I also want to link, like I said, to this page, this home page to our church page. So I'll click on our link option here, and you have a few options. You can link to any URL, so that would be linking to an outside website, an anchor or a file or an email address. But what we want to do in this example is link to any page or feed on my site, and I want to link to my church picnic information page. I'll click OK, and then I'm going to save. And once I click out of Edit Page and I click on this link, you'll see it takes me right to that landing page I just created. So this is a good way to help your site navigation, to make it clear to people where they should be going so they don't have to be always continuously scrolling up here to find the right page at the right time. Couple other things I want to show you are feeds and mailing lists, and then I'll get to your questions. I see we have a couple questions over there. Thanks, Kurt, for putting those in. I'll try and answer them in just a few minutes. The next thing we want to do is add a feed post to our announcements page. Now, feeds pages are a little bit different in that they're just kind of a running, rolling announcements. You see they have a different format. They have comments. To edit your feeds page, you would just click in Edit Page. And as soon as you click in Edit Page, you can edit an individual post here. So this is going to be named Church Picnic Post. Is coming. And then what I would like to do is I'm going to add my text in again here. I can also add a banner in here. Again, we'll click on the picture page, and since I've already uploaded some of my banners, I'm just going to click on this one. And remember, it always is doing that, so that's fine. We'll just do 700. Automatically resize it for me. And then I'll create my post. So the Church Picnic is Coming post is right here. You can change your post feed description here, so you might want to have one feed for announcements, one feed for sermons. You can have as many as you want by, again, going into that Pages toolbar up here for administrators, and then selecting your feed page, add a meta description. You can either allow comments or moderate comments. So allow comments would mean that anybody at any time can post comments to your blog post. If it's an announcement, you might not want people commenting on that, or if it's a sermon, so you can turn that off and on. You can moderate comments. So moderate comments simply means that you're allowing people to comment, but it will only be made visible to public users if an administrator approves it. I'm going to pick moderate comments here. You can also show how your feed looks, so you can have more or less posts per page, and you can show to preview the post content in your page. I'm going to click Save. And when my page updates, you can see that the appearance here changed, whereas before we just had these few links for people to click into. Now we're showing all the post comments, all the content on the page. The next thing you'll want to do if you have a post is you want to change your feed settings, and you can change that here. You can see our VBS and Church Picnic are only drafts now. That means they're not public. But if you're an administrator and you wanted to publish these, you would just click as many as you wanted, click the Publish button, and you can see it changes up here to Publish. So this Publish feature is a really good idea for churches who might have a bunch of people set to publisher on their permission levels and just a few people set to administrator. So you're always controlling the content in your church. There's always a proofreading process and a flow to everything that you can do. You can also change feeds here. So if I wanted to change my VBS feed to my sermons page, you can just hit select feed and it'll let you select which feed you'd like. I'll just click sermons for the sake of our example here, and you can see under feeds here it changed. The last and final thing we want to do before I get to your questions is to show you how email lists work in Unite. So I'm going to go over to users and go to mailing lists. You can create all different types of mailing lists made of all different types of people in Unite so that people are sent the information they want and not sent the information they don't want. So we'll go picnic planning list. You have to enter the title in first and then create mailing list. I'll click in this list name, and then once you click in it, you can select recipients. So I could go through each person's name individually. I could add Christy, I could add Mr. Keller and Mr. Waterman and Sharon, but I don't want to do that. I just want to do one quick stop. So I can search for my Church Picnic Planning Committee group, and that's automatically going to add all the members of your Church Picnic Planning Committee. If I also wanted website administrators to receive this email, I could add a mailing list here as well. So a mailing list can be comprised of a group, of another mailing list, or an individual person. So say we wanted Kent Williams. Oh, I guess he's not in there. we wanted Derek Woods to be, and I just deleted everything, sorry guys, Derek Woods to be added in addition to our website administrators and our church picnic planning committee list. So it's just that easy to add them in. If you make a mistake like I did, then you'll click save, and this will be your picnic planning committee list. Now if you wanted to email this list, you would select them and then click this email button, and it says opening my email client. So Unite works with a relay service where it uses your default email client to send an email. So for me, since we use Outlook here, it opened Outlook for me. I can type in my message, hi, planning committee, and then you would send it. What happens after you send it is it goes to our mail relay service. They match up all the emails on your list. Oh, sorry about that. All the emails on your list with all the people they're supposed to get to you, and sends out each email individually, so that if I receive the email, I would only see my own email on the recipient list. I wouldn't see an email with 300 other people on the list. I think that's a nice feature. I don't want to save my changes right now because we just have some fake email addresses. But once you send an email, we have a couple cool options to let you track what happened to emails. And that's under our activity page in the email log. So you can see that we have all these different options here. We have a delivered, we have failed, and most of these say failed because we don't want to be sending out emails to real people for our demo purposes. But there's different statuses in the Unite log. It'll tell you if it's pending, if it was accepted by the recipient's email client. You can see when emails went out, how many they went out, and to whom they went out. The other thing I'd like to show you in the activity column, activity subset over here, is the event log. The event log is the way to track all the actions by all the users in Unite to see everything they did. So if you're a website administrator and you want to see what people are doing, or if you notice that a change was made that didn't really make sense to you, you could go into activity event log and track who made changes. Now you can see this demo database is only used by us here, so it's always the same user. If you had different users, it would tell you different users here. It would tell you where they made the change. So if you remember when I changed Tim Keller's address, it tells me right here, Peter changed Tim Keller's address to being listed and to the street name. This is a really good way to let multiple people edit your site while still maintaining that consistent theme and feel. The last item in this activity log is comments. So that has to do with that moderate comments on the feed I was showing you earlier. If you needed to moderate any comments, you would select them and then click approve or delete if it was something inappropriate that you didn't want on your site. And I think with that, I've gone through all the main features here. So we're going to head back to my PowerPoint, and we'll wrap up, and I'll answer your questions in just a few minutes. So if the rest of you have any questions, now's a great time to start answering those, and I'll try to enter them as best as possible. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, if you liked what you saw, or if you have some more questions, if you want to test out Unite for yourself, you can always go to 360unite.com to start your 30-day free trial. You'll just be asked to enter your name and your email address, a few other things, and you can play with the software for yourself to see if you like it. Next thing, I'm going to put my contact info up here again. Again, I'm Anna Johnson, anna.johnson@cph.org. There's my phone number. If you've already been talking with a salesperson or you want to talk with a salesperson, I've also entered our software sales number up there with their email. Please feel free to contact either of us with questions. We're both open in here today. I'm going to head over to my questions and start reading them. Can people print out the calendar for people that may not have access to the website? I know in our other software, Church360 members, you can print out the calendar, but I do not think you can in Unite, other than going to your print up here, selecting print, and you'll see it kind of appears weird. So that's not really a good solution. Even if I change it to landscape, it doesn't look well. Kurt, thanks for asking that. I know I was just going through survey feedback a while ago, and we had that same suggestion from a lot of people. So I'm going to add that as a comment. I think it's a great idea to be able to print out your calendar because we realize that not everybody is online. So I hope that's something you can add, we can add in the future, but it's not something that we can add right now. Will the calendar in Unite automatically sync to Church 360 members calendar? And if we need attendance taken, we'll be able to add that option. Yes, your calendars with members sync with Unite. Actually, let me see if I can open that before. I'm going to go to our members site, trainingwebinars.360members.com. And you can see, for those of you who have members and are wondering about this, I'm just going to show you right now. If you don't have members, I'm sorry, this doesn't really apply to you that much. So you can see all your calendars listed over here in members. They should all transfer over to Unite in Sync. If you take events, attendance, and members, I believe it'll let you know with Unite. I'm not sure if it works around the other way. I'll ask my support team just to double check on that, Kurt. Thanks for asking that. But yes, the calendar sync, you can change the availability. So like this baptisms calendar is a really good example. In Unite, it comes over from members and you'll get this message that says it's required by members and cannot be changed. But again, if you don't want your members' baptismal birthdays to be listed, you can just change it to nobody. Okay, next question. You can connect with Google Calendar, but what about Outlook? Right now, we only have that Google Calendar option, Jim, but I know, again, as I was going through that survey feedback, a lot of people were suggesting to be able to have an Outlook connection. So I'll add that again. I think a lot of people use Outlook, and that might be a nice feature in the future to have, but no, you can't connect with Outlook right now. Kurt, does the site have an option for viewing on a mobile platform like a phone or small tablet? Yes, all our sites are designed to be responsive. The only caveat to that is if you go into your themes and you start doing the advanced themes and the edit themes, if you created a custom theme, we can't guarantee that that is going to be responsive. But I can try and show you right now. For those of you that don't know, there's a little Google Developer Tools that is really helpful. And you can preview what it looks like maybe on an iPad. We'll select that there. So this is what it would look like on an iPad. It's supposed to be responsive to a certain degree. Now some of these just have a lot of information on there. But yes, the templates were designed to be responsive. I'm just going to close out of here. That's one thing our developers worked really hard on. Heather, does the site work with MailChimp or Constant Contact to allow access to email archives and allow for group email sign-up? No, Heather, we don't have a MailChimp or Constant Contact integration just because right now we do have that built-in emailing feature that I was talking about under users and mailing lists. Again, that's a great idea. That's an idea a lot of our customers and potential customers ask for. So I'll put that into the developers to see how far along that is. These are all great ideas. I'm sorry my answer today has been no a lot, but the more feedback we have, the more potential we have for people to listen to us and to add those other features. So I thank you for all those questions, even though my answer today has been no. That's all I have covered. I'm going to wait just a few more minutes in case anybody else has further questions. I'll add my contact information up here on the screen again. If you think of a question or a comment anytime after the webinar has ended, feel free to give me a call or send an email. I'm always happy to answer that. Kurt and a couple other people who had more specific questions, I will get back to you later today, or one of our software support techs will get back to you to let you know. Other than that, just wanted to say thank you guys for attending the webinar. I'll stick on for a couple more minutes if you have any further questions, but otherwise feel free to exit. I'll send you the webinar recording and a link to the free trial sometime today so you can learn more and test things out for yourself. Thanks, guys.